Today, we are diving into something super important in course design: how to write learning outcomes. And listen, this isn't just about ticking some boxes. It's about a fundamental shift, moving education from something people just listen to something they can actually do. It really is a game changer for both you and your learners, so let's get right into it.
You know, as educators, we always have this vision in our heads, right? We know the skills, the knowledge, that spark of confidence we want to build in our learners. But the real challenge? It's taking that amazing vision and boiling it down into simple, powerful statements that guide everything we do, from our teaching right through to our assessments. And that's exactly what we're going to crack today.
All right, first up, we need to make a small but really powerful mental shift. It's all about moving our focus away from our activities and onto the learner's achievements.
So I want you to do something for me. Just for a second, think about one of your courses. When you describe it, are you listing off the topics you'll cover, the lectures you're going to give? Or are you describing what your learners will walk away being able to actively do? This question, right here, is the absolute key to unlocking really effective learning outcomes.
And here's the bottom line. A learning outcome isn't a to-do list for you, the teacher. It's a promise to the learner. As the guide puts it so well, they are statements describing what a successful learner will be able to do. It's all about capability and action.
And this little chart, it just nails the difference. It's that shift from a kind of vague aim like lessons on teamwork to a concrete, observable action. List roles within a team. Or going from lectures on online safety to something we can actually check, right? Can the learner identify ways to protect personal information online? See the difference? One's an activity, the other is a real ability.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do we actually write these things? Well, the good news is there's a simple, practical formula you can use every single time. Let's break it down.
Every single great learning outcome starts with this little phrase in your head, whether you actually write it down or not. It frames everything that follows as a new skill, a new capability for the learner. It really forces us to think in terms of these powerful can-do statements.
Now, what's so great about this slide is just how simple the structure is. Seriously, it's just 3 parts. First, you've got an action verb. That's the thing the learner actually does. Second, the object. What are they doing that action to? And third, the context, which adds that important detail about how or where they'll do it.
Let's see how this builds out. Okay, action verb, write. Simple enough. What are they writing? That's the object, a simple email. And the context, why are they writing it? To ask for information. Put it all together and boom, you've got a perfect learning outcome. On successful completion of this course, the learner will be able to write a simple email to ask for information. It's clear, it's specific, and you can totally assess it. Easy.
Okay, we've got the formula down. Now let's zoom in on its most important part, that action verb. It's really the engine of the entire statement, and choosing the right one makes all the difference.
Okay, this is the trap. This is where so many of us can go wrong. We use words like know or understand. But here's the problem. These are internal things, right? You can't actually see someone understanding. You can only see the evidence of it. So how does someone show you they understand? Well, they list, they explain, they create, they demonstrate. That's what we need to be focusing on.
So here they are, the usual suspects, the words to watch out for. Verbs like understand, know, realize, comprehend. They feel right, but they're not measurable. They don't give you a clear target for what the learner needs to show you. We've got to swap these out for verbs that describe an action we can actually see. Now, when you see this, you might think, oh no, not Bloom's taxonomy. But hang on, don't worry. We are not going down some academic rabbit hole here. The guide just suggests that we use this as a fantastic toolbox. Seriously, it's a goldmine of strong, measurable verbs, all organized by different levels of thinking. Need a verb for basic recall? Look under remember. Need one for applying a skill? Check out apply. It's just a really practical resource to help you find that perfect word.
All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But does it actually hold up in practice, especially in, challenging real-world situations? Absolutely. Let's take a look at a case study from one of the project pilots in Spain. And listen to this feedback from someone who went through the pilot. It's so honest. For many educators, this is a whole new way of thinking, and like this person says, it does take some discipline. But once you get the hang of that simple formula, verb, object, context, it actually makes the whole process so much easier and brings incredible clarity. So this pilot was run by the Fundación Marcelino Champignat, and they work with a particularly vulnerable group, young adults, many of them recent migrants,
who are facing some pretty significant barriers to employment and just general inclusion. This is a place where clear, practical education isn't just helpful, it is absolutely life-changing.
And we're not talking about abstract subjects here. The skills these learners needed were things that matter every single day. Things like managing frustration, how to work in a team, basic communication, and digital skills. These are the essential tools for navigating life and the job market.
So for this group, getting the learning outcomes right, well, it had to be rock solid. They needed to be crystal clear and directly accessible, not for academic reasons, but for human ones. Why? Because every single outcome they achieved was a step towards real, tangible confidence. It transformed their education into empowerment. Certifying these skills wasn't just about getting a piece of paper. It was concrete proof of their capability, proof that could open doors to jobs and a social life that were previously locked shut.
So, we've seen the why and the how. Let's wrap things up by looking at the fantastic payoff for putting in this work and see what it sets us up for next.
This is the so what. This is why all this work is so worth it. Good learning outcomes create clarity for absolutely everyone. They make assessment practical and fair. I mean, if the outcome is write a CV, then the assessment is, well, writing a CV. They are the foundation for the next steps, like estimating workload, and of course, providing meaningful certification. But most importantly, they celebrate real, tangible achievement.
So, as we finish up, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. In your own work, what's that one course, or maybe one module, where switching your focus from what I'll teach to what they can do could have the biggest, most positive impact?
I really hope this has helped demystify how to write learning outcomes that really pack a punch. Join us next time, where we're going to take these beautifully clear statements and use them to tackle the next big piece of the puzzle. Step 4, estimating learner workload. I'll see you then.